93, 93, 93. This is Aman Asha Renew from AshaRenew.com. Today I will speak on why the occult is so feared. One of the main reasons is because tapping into the occult allows you to know things only God should know. This is coming from a religious perspective. So the only beings that would know things that only God would know, they would consider the devil or Satan or demons or jinn or Lucifer, any of these names or titles. Because clearly we see that you can say the matrix has been programmed. You have been given a birth date like you have been given a death date. You have been given a particular zodiac sign, and you have been given a particular sequence of planetary forces, as we call a natal chart. And we must essentially learn how to deal with these various planetary forces and learn how to master our planetary points. So that's not necessarily something you should know, though, because once you know these things, you can master these things, which makes you a master of yourself because you have knowledge of self. If you don't have knowledge of self, there is no way to master yourself. So, if the only way to obtain the knowledge of yourself is to dig into currencies that we call the occult, because that gives you access to this hidden information or this veiled information that's already written into the matrix, which is how you would be able to tap into it in the first place. It's not that you're necessarily tapping into the divine intelligence of the creator himself or herself. You're simply tapping into the code that has been scribed into the matrix. And if you can read the code, the binary code, then essentially you can understand what events are meant to occur. So if you are able to predict essentially the future, which is what the occult allows you to do, whether you're using the astrology, the numerology, the divination, so on and so forth, if you're able to tap into the codex of the matrix and then predict things before they happen, or see things before they happen, that allows you to position yourself to receive certain currencies and certain energies you otherwise would have missed, because how would you have known that said events was going to occur, so that you can place yourself in a position of benefit? This is not something that a person would just to have access to that type of intelligence unless you tapped into, as they say, the occult. So this is what makes it forbidden, because it gives you access to hidden information. Again, that's not, you're not necessarily channeling directly from the so-called divine. You're simply tapping into the creation, the essence of the creation itself, and reading the codes. And upon reading those codes and analyzing those codes, it gives you some type of idea of what's to come, which then allows you to move accordingly. But if you decide to do these things, it is considered forbidden, and it's essentially a sin for you to have that intelligence. You're not supposed to, according to religion, even though it's there. So people leave it alone. It's not that essentially people can't tap into their natal charts and their numerology. People know about these things, especially if they're religious, because they have been told to stay away from it. So, of course, they have some type of knowledge of these things. However, people choose to not deal with these factors because you're simply not supposed to know certain things. Because if you know certain things, it alters your destiny. And when you alter your destiny, that means your destiny now is in your hands and not in the hands of something or someone else. So now you become the script writer instead of the script being written for you and you playing it out. Like in dreams, we are just moved by karma. That's why dreams appear to just be moving along, whether you're conscious of it or not. You could say that just represents the karmic winds. It's not until you become conscious that you're dreaming that you can now go against those karmic winds. And now your intelligence allows you to tap into hidden information that you otherwise wouldn't have access to once again. And we see people do that all the time, go into the dream world, extract information, and some people even consider that demonic. But essentially, we already have the ability to do these things. That's why they are forbidden in the first place. You can't make something forbidden if it's impossible to do. So the possibility is always there. We are just told to make a conscious decision not to unlock the possibility because it's for your own good. This is what we are told. Because if you knew these things, it would change essentially how you see yourself, how you see the world, how you see everyone. You can no longer be the same. It's like taking the red pill. Once you are exposed to certain phenomena, there is no going back. There is no erasing these things from your mind. So that's essentially what it comes down to. Once you are aware of certain phenomenon, you have no choice but to respond to it and live it out. Because once you know, then you're going to act accordingly. There's no other way to. You can't pretend as if you don't know. You're not going to step into danger when you know danger is around the corner. You're going to take an alternate path. And the moment you take that alternate path and avoid whatever you were supposed to experience according to life, now you can say you're off the grid. And this is what it truly means to be off of the grid. It means to be off of the script that's being written for you. You are off because now no one else can write it but you. So why people speak about living off the grid just means to take control of your own script. Taking control of your script requires you to have access to hidden information and then make alternate moves in accordance to that hidden information. And that becomes your lifestyle, which then makes you destined to live out the life that you chose for yourself instead of it being chosen for you. And with that, I bear peace. 93, 93, 93.